Slow Drag with Remedy. The phrase passion project keeps running through my mind, so I had to look it up to make sure it meant what I thought it meant. I'm a linguist, so that's part of what we do. We chase language down rabbit holes. I came across a 2016 Huffington Post piece by life coach Pam Bauer that refers to a passion project as a, quote, trendy name for doing something that excites and inspires you. In short, it's something you, quote, don't need a purpose for. A quick run through Google's Ngram viewer, the graph that plots word usage in books over the years, confirms that the term passion project remained relatively flat until around 1995, when it began to rise steadily in usage through the latest reporting in 2008. Conclusion? Turning my love affair with the masterful poetry of Elvis Costello into an appreciation of his work both excites and inspires me. Therefore, it is decidedly a passion project. Frankly, I'm surprised I've not been beaten to the punch. As much as I think I already know these words inside and out, these slow drags keep revealing angles that go far beyond mere straight, acute, right, and obtuse. So I'll say it again, Mr. Costello's music and voice are simply amazing. But for me, it's always been about the words. Stark and mischievous, his words are a menagerie of clever rhyme, engaging storytelling, and mental imagery that breathes fresh life into old tropes. That's why I prefer to simply linger over the genius of the poetry itself. So, as I've established, this appreciation is a passion project. This passion project is simply an appreciation. It's an appreciation of a peerless poet, of a modern-day master. Today's slow drag is with The Big Light from King of America, released in 1986. The songwriting is credited to Mr. Costello's birth name. I have quite the soft spot for this entire album, so why, when there are so many deeper and more heartrending peaches ready to be plucked from King of America, why have I chosen to do a slow drag with a frenzied little 2-minute and 34-second ditty that's probably little more than a song about having 2 or 10 too many? Simple. The title, well, that, and to prove a point. While it is my ambition to indulge in a slow drag with each song where the writing credit is Elvis Costello's alone, the more familiar songs are, understandably, much lower on my dance card. Arguably his most universally recognized song is Allison, which, by the way, I firmly believe that for every swooning Allison, there is a Roxanne experiencing an equal and opposite reaction. Released 9 years before King of America, Allison has clearly set his epitaph in amber. I think somebody better put out the big light, 'cause I can't stand to see you this way. Those amazing words are from Allison, of course. Arbitrary, it is thoughtful, or it is murderous. Either way, it's legendary. A lesser poet might put these words under glass, but it's the fearlessness I admire most. For The Big Light, he has removed this phrase from the conversation, started again at the beginning with no trace of its predecessor. He's not thinking of anyone in particular. He's just planning to have a good night out on the town. Oh, well, I had a little feeling to have a big night, and I woke up feeling small and not so brave and not quite right. Certainly, this is a familiar feeling for many of us. But notice the rhyme. Rhyming feeling with feeling is bold. The consonants of big and brave, and then the rattled off threesome of night, quite, and right, all in the span of 2 lines, so pleasing to the ears. A little feeling that turned into feeling small, comes close to ironic repetition, but takes it one step further. It's just brilliant. Grand plans made, realized, and then executed. What comes next? The obvious, of course. These lines are a masterclass in how to spice up the I drink, I get drunk lament. I had to face the who am I? Where is she? What did I do? But worst of all, I had to face the big light. Here we have another acorn, or a misheard word or phrase. The extensive Elvis Costello wiki, that is a, quote, resource for Elvis Costello fans, has the word worst, as in worst of all, but I've always heard it as first of all. He has all of this to face, but first he has to deal with the ugly glare of the morning after. As is becoming apparent, there aren't a lot of veiled meanings or innuendos in this piece. Instead, this gem offers vivid imagery that is as clever as it is relatable. The chorus is placed twice and remains the same each time, which is something of a rarity. The only difference, however, is the intensity in its delivery. It starts strong and only gets louder, more frenetic, something someone with a hangover might not welcome at such a vulnerable time. The dissonance is wickedly pleasing. The big light came through my window, and it opened up my eyelids, and it snapped them up like roller blinds and told me things that I did. This combination of light coming through a window and roller blinds going up is so silly and just adorable. But wait, there's more. Can't face another day and night of good ideas and complications. I'm thankful that I didn't open another bottle of inspiration. The day and night that is now difficult to face seems like a restatement, perhaps, of the little feeling to have a big night decision. Once bitten, so they say. But, as he points out, it could have been worse. At least there's still something to be thankful for. The next lines, frankly, they make me giddy. They are just amazing. Oh, when the hangover this morning had a personality, and I cast my shattered mind over selected memories. Finishing with, I didn't even touch the light switch, so I knew I'd never see the haggard face that would be staring back at me. Oh, I just love this. It's so clever. Again, reading the written words, I notice that the word Haggard is capitalized. Is this a reference to Merle Haggard? It's conceivable, I suppose. EC covered his song Tonight the Bottle Let Me Down on the 1981 Almost Blue. He's, quote, hurtin' in an old familiar way. I'm not very familiar with Merle Haggard, so I looked him up. He died on his 79th birthday. I admire that sense of symmetry. I also found the song Are the Good Times Really Over? And the line Back before Elvis, back before the Vietnam War. It reminds me of the fearlessness of a poet who would repurpose an immortal line, such as The Big Light. It's the same poet who would make reference to Elvis in no fewer than 6 of his songs. One of the latest and most blatant can be found in the Delivery Man title track. In a certain light, he looked like Elvis. In a certain way, he seemed like Jesus. Again, only from a fearless poet would that be written. Well, I had a little feeling to have a big time, and I woke up to alarm bells like a big church chime. Ah, that lovely, only from too much alcohol, hypersensitivity. Again, though, notice the complicated styling of each seemingly straightforward words. Just as with rhyming feeling with feeling above, here we have rhyming big with big. There's no rule against this, but I wonder how many poets shy away from this when it's right there for the taking. As well, notice the consonants is so smooth and almost imperceptible, jammed-packed in such a small space. It's the L sounds that abound: well, little, feeling, alarm, bells, and even like. He makes it seem so effortless. Well, I had a little feeling to have a big time, and I woke up to alarm bells just like a big church chime. All of that crammed into those 2 lines. Amazing. I had to face the who am I, who is she, what did I do? But first of all, I had to face the big light. The nearly panic-stricken way he asks, who is she, makes me almost as giddy as a hangover with a personality. As with all good ideas and bad decisions, the final lines are that of acceptance, perhaps. Or when it's time to go out and have a big night, sooner or later you've got to face the big light. Again, this has been a slow drag through the big light from 1986 King of America. What a delightful song. It's iconoclastic, vivid, and as I keep saying, fearless. I highly recommend listening to the big light and then revisiting Allison. No matter how they are arranged, these words are built to last. Listen for the subtle rhymes, the turns of phrase, the economy of explanation and images. The big light might be 2 minutes and 34 seconds long, but it is, to coin a phrase, mighty like a rose. Between Blood and Chocolate and King of America, 1986 must have felt like Christmas had come both early and twice to many avid fans. As a mere 30-year fan myself, I was still a year or so away from finding one of the truest joys in my life. Back then, I was still living in a world where Suzanne Vega and Tears for Fears filled the quiet moments. And while they are still great artists with great songs that have made great memories, I still imagine 1986 must have been especially meaningful for all of those who were truly in the know. Thank you so much for finding this passion project, for listening to this appreciation of Elvis Costello's poetry, and thank you for listening all the way to the end. It's been so fun going through this amazing little fearless piece of artistry. Please check the show notes for the links to the actual song, as well as links to references made in this episode. I've also added links to all the songs mentioned. As well, there is a companion blog with references for your convenience. I've really enjoyed this and hope you have too. So, until next time, adieu, my little ballyhoo. Slow drag with